how to put English on the basketball.
Hello and welcome to a new episode 29 of With the English podcast. We have been away for several weeks since our teams have been eliminated. That is due to scheduling, not because we want to do a runner to Cancun. Sam, how have you been these last few weeks?
Yeah, mixed, mate. Mixed. Obviously, me and you buzzing from our footy team, soccer team, getting to the playoff finals and winning, and baseball going really well. But obviously, basketball disappointing. So
Yeah, we ditched our NBA teams because our football team did get to a playoff final and actually won it.
indeed, and that took a day or two to recover. So obviously that weekend, and then you had holiday, I had stag do. So those 2 weekends,
Yeah,
then
we both were in Portugal, but we both missed each other.
yes, yeah, it was. Mine was a bit of a. I don't recommend Portugal for families or certainly the bit I went to in Albufeira for families or
Is that where you
couples.
went?
Yeah,
We were literally 20 minutes away from there.
yeah. Honestly, that strip where the night stuff is just horrible. Loads of fake basketball jerseys out there. I saw. No, to be fair, saw a lot of fake basketball jerseys. Saw a horrible Celtics fan with a fake Tatum on. I saw obviously the Jordan Chicago Bulls, but I did see a Luka Doncic jersey out there, and I wanted to ask him because obviously how they've been doing, but I thought no, I won't ask because you never know these days. That
You
people,
got that's also presumptuous of that they actually support Dallas because there'll be people that just buy the jerseys, people that just buy the hats that don't actually follow it. So you could have found yourself in an awkward conversation.
yeah, a lot of the guys are quite muscular, so I thought well, maybe they're just being vain with it. So yeah, didn't bother.
I thought that's how you wear yours.
What's
With your
that?
arm. I thought that's how you wear your jerseys with your guns out.
Yeah, well, they need, obviously, I've been doing a lot of football and football coaching, haven't I? So I've had to keep it slim.
So obviously, yeah, we didn't go to Cancun, we went to Wembley, but whilst we have been away, I started off a list of all the things we missed that we could have spoken about for the past 4 weeks. So
Mm-hmm.
shall I begin?
You shall begin.
It starts off with the Lakers and the Sixers being eliminated.
Yeah.
You like this one? Tobias Harris finally leaving the Sixers, which I don't know if I've jumped the gun there, but he is right.
We haven't re-signed him, but I suppose technically his contract ends on the 31st of June or whatever. But yeah,
Have
he's no
you
longer.
organised a party for that day or?
I wanted to, but then I saw that in the press conference afterwards that Maury said he wants to, that there's every chance he could come back, and I wouldn't put it past him. So I need to wait for that to be officially confirmed.
So I'll caveat that with TBA then.
Yes,
One thing definitely confirmed, Darvin Ham was fired. Praise the
which
Lord.
is yeah, which you've been wanting for a long time.
It was a glorious day. Frank Vogel, another ex-Lakers coach, was fired from the Suns. Probably the second time he's been a scapegoat in the last few years because he was never going to succeed with a star-heavy, offensive-heavy team. And the way Bradley Beal plays, you could call it a 2.5 star team. So
Mm-hmm.
he's the full guy for that. Almost instantly, Mike Budenholzer was hired, which we could probably all see coming from a mile off because I don't think the Lakers were interested. And the only other sort of position that was open at the time was Charlotte and Wizards, and I don't think he would have ended up there. So yeah, Frank Vogel was done really dirty by two franchises. The French fraud Gobert wins his 16th, 17th Defensive Player of the Year. I've lost count now. How many he's managed to win. I think we discussed on our podcast that if it should have or maybe have gone to Victor Wembanyama. Um, Given that he was probably one of the best defensive players in a poorly defensive team, and Gobert was in a solid defensive team. that didn't anchor his own defence, and he got probably exposed a little bit in those Western
Definitely did.
Conference finals. So that's why I call him the French fraud, and AD gets overlooked again. Jokic wins MVP again. Do you think that's fair on the MVP?
Yeah, I need to go back a bit when you said about AD, but
Go on.
well, his team's got to get further. I mean, I know it's a regular season award, but his team's got to get in a bit better of a better position if he's going to win Defensive Player.
Yes, I agree with that.
So
Unfortunately,
that,
because our
but
team
yeah,
is bad, he then doesn't get taken seriously for the individual awards. When I argue that he's probably the best defensive player, or at least top two defensive players in the league. He can do it all in the
yeah,
paint, on the perimeter. You saw what Doncic did to Gobert, put him on an island, and although he could do that to anyone, I feel like AD would have had a better chance against Luca than Gobert. But that's my biased opinion, of course.
who
So
was
yeah,
it?
go on.
Sorry, didn't Davis give up the one of the shots? Similar to like you said about Embiid, I'm sure you and someone else trolling me about Embiid with the Kawhi shot, and it was quite well covered.
I think there was actually two shots that Jamal Murray navigated in that series.
It was Murray, yeah. They weren't sure. There you go. So,
Oh yeah, good response there. Thanks for that.
but no, yeah, Jokic deserved. Yeah, because it's based on regular season. Jokic deserved it, and obviously showed this season how like he wasn't bad last season. Embiid was just better, and
I
Embiid
think
was having a better season than him until he got injured. And then I'd say obviously Doncic came into it later in the year, wasn't as good early in the year till Mavs sorted it out with trades and stuff like that. So consistency over the 80 odd games that he played, or late 70s that he played, fair play. Yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah, I think the Lucas situation is probably quite similar to what you just said about AD. If Dallas were a top three, top two seed, then he probably would have ran away with MVP, especially what he's doing or what he's done in the postseason. It's unfortunate that Dallas just didn't have a strong, complete season and just turned it on after the trade deadline. Josh Hart played 568 minutes in the playoffs. I made a note of that because at the time it was I was saying to our good friend Ash, Knicks fan, that you're going to get burnt out because Tibbs just has an obsession with playing players for 48 minutes. And I think on the end of that Pacers series, they were pretty much done in.
I think they were done in from our series, to be honest. It was whoever was going to win that was going to struggle in the next round because we had Embiid obviously not healthy. Brunson's hand wasn't perfect. He still had that thing on the whole bloody time. And obviously, like you say, Tibbs loves to run his players in. It was a second round game in the first round, and when that happened, it's always really tough for that team to then go all the way.
To see a player complete the 48 minutes is just insane.
In the postseason as well, like after a ridiculous season where you've played a lot towards the end of the season for seeding purposes, because Knicks were pushing for that. It is rare to see that. So
I think if Pacers, well, my next point was Pacers eliminated New York, and I think if Pacers messed that up, they would have been kicking themselves because that was the time they had no Randall, they had no Mitchell Robinson, Brunson was injured pretty much, Josh Hart was knackered, OG was got out injured. Like, even if New York made it to the conference finals, Boston would have just steamrolled them.
well, I mean, the Pacers did it as well. It was, they gave up in the end, didn't they? I mean, Halliburton probably, I don't know, it's one of those ones when they say they're doubtful or whatever, you think, well, could you play? And they're obviously like, we're 3-0 down, stuff it. We're not even.
I kind of feel like Pacers weren't bothered about reaching the finals. I think they were pretty content and happy of getting to that stage and sort of just like, yeah, whatever, what will be. Not to take anything away from Boston or to take everything away from Boston, as I like to make out they've had an easy run to the finals. Twitter would tell you that's one of the easiest runs to the finals with all the said injuries to every Eastern team, not just the ones they've played, but the other teams, including yourselves, with Embiid and Maxi was in and out as well. Like, I think
Yeah.
Boston's the only fit and healthy team. Porzingis has been out, but I don't think they miss Porzingis.
No, I think the Bucks and the Sixers getting the injuries is really helped them because they were, on paper they're the best three teams in the East, so they did have it easy. And like you say, you then go over to the West and look. Actually, there was some real tough matchups because there was quite a lot of health there out in the West. And the Western Conference was a much better series overall, and I'm glad that was the one that was, as always, and well, maybe not for not much longer. Was on Inside the NBA, so obviously got good analysis and obviously good banter on there, even from Draymond. And it was worth watching. And ESPN got the crappy Eastern Conference series.
But they do get the finals every year, don't they?
Yeah, ESPN do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they can live with the fact that they had a poor conference finals, but.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna go to Boston anyway. Unfortunately,
Well, we'll get onto that later.
Oh yeah, we will. But yeah,
Ant-Man waved goodbye to the Nuggets. I very much enjoyed that series. I did think they were gonna mess it up when they let Denver back into it. A bit of a strange series, given that no one wanted to win at home. Apparently, home court advantage was not a thing in that series.
no. I found that series a really good series that made you step up and go, "Oh wow, Minnesota for real." And then the next series was just, that was so baffling. After that series, I
Mad,
thought,
ain't it? Because that game 1 and 2, I couldn't believe how much they blitzed the Nuggets. That they made the Nuggets look like the Spurs or something. It was incredible. And even in was it game 6 or even game 7, they got like 70 points.
it was ridiculous. They made Jokic look poor, and
never mind Jokic, they made Jamal Murray look like a genius. Man.
That's what and obviously, it gave Ant-Man a bit of cockiness that I think he then regretted saying about guarding either one of them. In particular, Kyrie, who definitely took that personally, and then showed the young buck.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting Western Conference was probably the like I say the best series matchup.
That's my best series. I almost feel like Denver was so committed to beating us and almost gave them false confidence. And people forget, but we were in that series every game, and it could have been more interesting if we actually held on to that 20-point lead in game 2, split the first 2 games and came back to LA, but it wasn't to be. We couldn't finish in the clutch, and same old story from the previous year. But the moment I've noted here from that series, and you knew that Minnesota were going to win, is did you see Rudy Gobert's jumper?
I didn't. No.
I think it was even like a turnaround jumper. Like it was just insane. I think if you see Gobert,
okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant
in game 7.
Yeah, I thought you meant jumper, as in
clothing.
I thought it was like a. Yeah, I thought you. Yeah,
I know you're new to the NBA. Sorry.
Ooh. No, I thought it was one of those ones where it's like, he wore an outrageous jumper to the game, like he was always gonna, you should wear that to, like a Westbrook type outrageous outfit. But yeah, French no, I shocked. Yeah, you meant jumper shot. Yes, It just shows his limitations. He's not as good as he thinks he is.
Offensively, he offers very little.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. The problem is he doesn't offer a lot offensively, so you need to have the players around you perform because he's staying on the court for 30+ minutes every time.
Another reason why I think AD should have been given the award over him, because not only does AD have to anchor a defense, but he has to be the top scorer on every night. So Gobert's responsibilities, all he does is, act tall and put his arm up in the paint. Hence why in that poll, I don't know if you saw that poll, that he's rated the most overrated player in the league.
Who's AD is or Gobert?
Gobert, what are you doing? Oh, bloody hell.
Well, I think there is. I do think that he's. Well, he's not. What was it? Three first round picks. Three first round picks. Wasn't it?
Four-time defensive player of the year. I don't even think the greats have got that.
No, I think
4 times.
I don't know if he's the most overrated though. Is he overrated? Yes. Most overrated? I don't know.
Currently in the league. Not ever.
I know. I don't know. I wouldn't.
Have you got any other contenders? Because I'd like to hear them. Embiid?
No.
I'm just fishing.
Offensively, he might be a bit overrated, and he's underrated defensively. I think people forget how good his defense is. Okay, maybe not. Based on contracts, you could give that to Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
No, okay.
And
okay,
potentially Jaylen Brown, given he's only got one hand.
No.
I'm just being salty because he's had a great season.
Okay, I'll give you most overrated player that's seen as a superstar, all-star type player. I'll give you that. I can't think of anyone else right now.
There you go. But yeah, essentially, when he hit that shot, I think Denver must have known that was it. If you're letting Gobert hit, I mean, not letting him, they did cover him, but when he
Oh yeah, you're on about the one. Okay, I was thinking in the conference finals. That's my bad. You're on about yeah. I do remember that one, but it wasn't a game winner anyway. To be honest,
It wasn't, but I just think it was quite late on in the game, and for a guy that who struggles with layups, like when that goes in, you just got to think, yeah, this ain't our series.
Jokic can't guard that well outside of the paint anyway. So.
No, we've discussed previously that he has defensive flaws that, I'll be honest, people don't really talk about.
It's true. That's why Embiid beats him, because Embiid takes him away from the rim, and then he goes to the rim, and then Jokic can't keep up with him because he goes past him. Yeah. So
there are some defensive flaws in that man's game. He is also the 3-time MVP.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, one of the best players we've ever seen for his size.
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, we're not dissing Jokic.
You've almost got like a Magic Johnson in a center of that.
Indeed.
Cavs fire JB Bickerstaff. Again, not good enough to get to the semis. Given where they came from after LeBron's exit, I think he's done an all right job. But when I'm telling us the second coach that gets us to the Western Conference Finals and then gets us to the first round. Well, first round means nothing for the Lakers, but yeah, I'm surprised Cavs.
Yeah, but Cavs. Yeah, that was a win. Cavs. They had a chance to avoid playing against Boston and didn't do it, and that's what screwed them over.
Well, again, Jared Allen gets hurt, Donovan Mitchell gets hurt. The sort of series just falls to the side, doesn't it?
Well, Donovan Mitchell could be up there for most overrated. On a side note, we've been linked with him, but yeah, there we go.
He's been linked with the Lakers, but then again, everyone is linked to the Lakers.
Indeed. Oh, and we've been linked with LeBron, which we can go on to later as well.
You have. Southampton FC got promoted, which we've already mentioned. This is not just NBA stuff.
No.
Bill Walton passed. This is
Yeah,
sad, obviously. Hall of Famer, part of the 75. Um, obviously quite close to through his son, close to this franchise, but obviously ex Laker and Portland Trailblazer. So that was quite sad. 71, which you could deem as quite young.
yeah. I think. What was it? Was it Open Court? Have you ever watched those series? I think he did Open Court once. Um, he did an Open Court. He did a show. There was like shows and stuff, and I remember him like being interviewed and something. He just comes across such a nice, humble guy. Like it's just he's one of the ones that just seems like he enjoyed playing basketball, and just you know seemed like a character, like you say, one of the original ones from the original 75. So
Yeah, I mean, when I'm always quite cynical when someone passes, only nice things get said about that person, but it seems genuine across the league that anyone he sort of interacted with has only got good things to say about him.
yeah, I mean, he was like I say, he was always good on the NBA shows that I used to watch. Always looked like a funky character with the way he dressed and some stuff like that. But obviously, how people come across on TV aren't always the same. Like you say, not you don't want to diss on his past, but the way he came across on TV was always that he was a really cool guy, nice guy. So I just go with that assumption with him because that's what I think he was. But yeah, and a good player from the YouTube highlights because obviously I wasn't old enough to watch him.
So the link with that was with his previous team, Celtics. They swept the Pacers and advanced to the finals. So what did you generally think of Celtics' path to the finals?
Like I say, I was gonna watch the game. What game was it? Game 4. Saw Harry was out and stuff, and I was like, what's the point?
I can tell you now, I've not watched one Celtics game. I don't think apart from your series against the Knicks Pacers. Yeah, I've not really watched the Eastern postseason at all. Really, I just focus on the West because it's been competitive, minus the finals, of course.
Yeah, well, I think the thing with the Celtics is, I caught highlights of it and stuff. The Celtics got, like you say, got really lucky. They played teams that really battled all the way through to get to meet them, and they did it. And the reason why it was easy for them is because they have built a good team. They've built, whether you like it or not, they've built a great team. They were handed a great player. If you want to call it that or say
you could argue that the reward for taking care of the regular season is the fact you get top seed, you get home court, and you face essentially the lower seed. So they can only, I guess, beat who's put in front of them.
exactly, and I think the main key to them was the fact they got Drew Holiday, and like I say, that was given to them. That trade was ridiculous, and I knew the moment it happened, it made them a much better team. And now they're going to be going to the finals probably. Going to be winning in the finals. So
Yeah, that Damian Lillard Giannis experiment really worked out.
and yeah, this is the problem. It was like a 2 year. That is a 2 year max 3 year window, and you've already lost a year of it. So it's
Sold
still
their
dying.
soul.
Still will die next year for him.
And of course, Dallas advanced to the finals to face the Celtics. Which, well, I think you said about it was a bit of a weird and sort of underwhelming series in the end.
Yeah, I don't think there was much expectation from me that the series wouldn't be competitive throughout. I called it that Dallas would win. I didn't think Minnesota would last. I just thought that they, Anthony Edwards, fantastic player, obviously, and shined throughout. Obviously, not so much in that series, but I just thought Luka looked so turned on, focused to that,
Yeah.
to basketball, and Kyrie just looked like the old Kyrie or Uncle Drew, whatever you want to call him, and just
Luka was on a mission.
he was. And
Taunting the players, taunting the fans, like there's no way he was going to allow Dallas not to get through to those finals. And the sad thing is, Minnesota win game 4, and then Anthony Edwards comes out of comments like, I ain't never been swept. First off, mate, you've been what, 3 playoff series? So
Mhm.
the whole I've never been swept, like there's not a big sample size there.
No.
And 2, that shouldn't be your takeaway from the game. I wouldn't want to have heard that from a Timberwolves fan point of view. I would have want to heard that. That's 1 down. We need to get 2 more to tie, and we need to win another, 3 in a row to win the series. It almost said to us or to me that, oh well, we haven't got swept, so we can just bail out game 5, and they did that. Game 5 was embarrassing.
Yeah, I expected better fight. I thought it, I thought that's it. It's going to go, 6 games, and it wasn't. It was embarrassing. It wasn't. I don't know what. It must be hard when you're 3-0 down to then try and come back
Of course, yeah.
and have the motivation to think we can win 4 in a row.
Especially when that
Obviously,
stat comes up at the bottom, doesn't it? Saying
yeah,
no team has ever come back from 3-0 down. So I get that mentally, but I just think at least put on a bit of a show for the franchise and the fans to say that's 1 win down. We're going for the next one, but just to be like, oh well, we haven't been swept.
which is what it felt like. I think the inside guys touched on that as well. So yeah, I don't think that Minnesota team's going to make much tweaks, and that's going to cost them in the off season because
No, I think they're quite locked into that team, and that there's not a lot of room for maneuverability.
no, and
So
I
they
think
need to
with a
take it
few
seriously.
tweaks, they could be the best team because Golden State on the decline now. Obviously, you guys are getting older and might lose LeBron. I think there's so much. The Western Conference has got
Memphis will be
potential.
back. Wemby will have a team around him eventually.
Yeah, I think next year could be Spurs. I think the Western Conference is going to be a lot weaker next year. Um,
Weaker?
yeah.
No, stronger, mate.
Well, how will it be stronger? Golden State
Like
are
I
getting
said,
old,
Memphis will be healthy. Spurs are going to only get better.
but Golden State and you are going to.
Golden State, yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry
What?
about that. When we get
It's,
JJ Redick in,
yeah, which would be great.
who has a
Um,
he talks a lot of X's and O's on a podcast with our star player.
okay.
It'll be fine.
Okay, we'll see. Oh, we'll
I
see.
kind
We'll
of
see.
feel like the skeptic in me kind of felt like that podcast was made for JJ to audition whilst Darvin Ham was still in his role to say this Darvin Ham guy knows nothing. I have a friend here. You always like to say about Le GM, and I think he's done a modern day tactic of let's show the world how good my friend is and how smart he is, and hide behind a podcast and make out like there's no hidden agenda behind it.
Conspiracy theories coming out now.
Well, you'll see, and I guarantee we announce it when Boston win the finals to take away the media away from them. I'm pretty sure it's happened in the past.
What that you've announced a hiring after a Boston
Yeah.
series win.
Someone could probably tell me I'm wrong or can back that up, but I'm pretty sure we've done that before. I'm pretty sure we are going to announce it after the finals finish.
Fair. I'll take your word for it.
You got eliminated from the playoffs, and first take we're talking about the Lakers for like the next full week.
Well, this is true because it's the same thing, isn't it? It's the Yankees, it's the Lakers, it's the Cowboys.
There was nothing to talk about the Lakers. There was literally nothing to talk about.
It's the
Darvin Ham had been fired.
It's the one of the big 3 franchises. Cowboys haven't won anything for years and the most pointless team in American sports, but they still get talked about.
They do. They do. Leading on from Dallas and Luca, the next thing is Madrid win their 15th Champions League.
Yes, and that meant two NBA players were happy with that we know of.
Is it? Yeah, I didn't quite see this. Was Embiid on
Yes,
CBS?
he was.
How random.
Yeah, I don't think he understood anything Jamie Carragher said, but yeah, he was there. And obviously, Luca being an ex-Madrid player, wanted Madrid to win, and so Luca and Embiid were happy that their team won. That was the joke, wasn't it? That Luca wasn't gonna, because I think game six would have been on the Champions League night, wouldn't it? Or game seven.
Knowing Embiid, he only supported Real Madrid the final, like him joining Team USA so he can win a gold medal.
I agree with that. I don't agree with him joining Team USA. Now he's been a Madrid fan for years. So he put out cryptic tweets to wind up Sixers fans ages ago when we were playing. He was like talking about about Madrid, but making it look like it was a basketball tweet because he loves to troll even his own fans back then.
And my last point, and it will mean nothing to most people, only us really, and this could be breaking news for you, Sam, if you've been busy. Stuart Armstrong leaves Southampton.
Indeed, yes, I saw that. Stewie Armstrong has left, so it's a sentimental thing, isn't it? So how I don't get. Well, I suppose the season isn't technically over yet in the NBA,
To
but
explain in NBA terms, this is like when Caruso left the Lakers.
no, well, kind of. But what I'm saying is how quickly how quickly they've announced they're not keeping a player after their contract. But I suppose the NBA season isn't over, so we'll have this conversation. But yeah, football teams have announced who's left, who's stayed quite quickly and ready to go. So I haven't really done X's and O's, but who's going to be the surprise player, sentimental player that goes for you? So maybe not a surprise from the Lakers.
Good question. Well, obviously, there's been a lot of rumours, and with any trade rumours, there's been a debate across Laker fans of who would we give up. Austin Reeves is untradeable to some fans, like me. Uh, for other fans, Austin Reeves is tradable. Rui is apparently awful again because he had a bad Denver series, but he was very good in the season. And the sort of players we've been linked with are Donovan Mitchell, to go back to that 3-star um, sort of way of winning a championship rather than 2 stars and role players. Apparently, Zach LaVine is possibly going out cheap, but he has a poor contract and his health is questionable. I'm sure rumors for DeJounte Murray will come up again. There's even been rumors that Kuzma could return.
Yeah,
But essentially, if we go for a big trade this offseason, the biggest surprise is if we include Austin Reeves in any trade.
yes, I agree.
I may have to change teams if that's the case.
I know that would be the biggest. I think he was. I don't think there's any chance he goes though.
How about LeBron takes a vet minimum, so we got some more cap space and we don't have to give away all our assets?
LeBron won't do that.
I know he won't. I say that in jest because he will want the max for his age, and he turns 40 this year.
I know, right? I mean, yeah. Although I'd take him for the 2-year deal that he's apparently after, but
So you mentioned, well, I was about to say, what do you see you guys doing in the off season? You mentioned you've been rooming with LeBron. Do you
yeah,
actually
I think,
because I don't.
I think there's a chance because he wants to play with his son, doesn't he? So I think,
Yes, we haven't mentioned that. So all the talk is obviously he'll go to wherever Bronny is picked. The Lakers have a 17th pick, and they had the 55th pick. We could also buy into the second round, which we have done, quite a
You're
bit
at
recently.
17, you said, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we're at 16, so we could take him just before you.
But then again, Bronny's not worth a 16th pick. That'd be a waste just to get LeBron at your franchise for a year.
Well, this is true. I don't dispute that. But
If
I
we
would
pick him
like
at
his.
55th, I think, yeah, all right, that's
I think
on terms.
it would be more his leadership that I would want. I'm not expecting him to produce miracles, but you think about it, we're used to having a max player that's not doing a lot. So even if we get decline LeBron, he's still going to do better.
What we don't actually know is what does Bronny want? Does he
Well,
actually want to be on this team with his dad?
I reckon,
Traveling country with his dad?
I reckon he would. Yeah, 100%.
There's some you act differently in front of your parents, right? Especially at that age.
Yeah, but I reckon he'll want to.
And no one's going to be talking about Bronny, are they? It's going to be tarnished. They're just going to talk about LeBron.
Maybe, but you
Like,
still want to play.
let your son take his own path.
But then that takes him out of the shadow. So I suppose in a way, rather than being on his own team,
It could do the opposite.
no, you get more focus if you're on your own team.
That'd be interesting. I don't believe you'll take him at 16th in the draft.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't think so. I think we'll trade it, but yeah,
I think if you do, you'd be very pissed off.
100% I would.
Yeah.
Unless they said LeBron's coming as part of the package, then I'd be a little bit happier because I think having his leadership could be the thing that gets us over the hump.
I mean, if I was LeBron, I'd go back over to the East, have an easy year.
Potentially, but how many NBA wins did he get playing in the East? Was it Miami and Cleveland? He got one each of them. Was it
right? But I'm just saying, what I've been saying all year, the East is weak. So if
in how many years did he play in the East?
So he's had 21 years, and he's been at Lakers since 2018. So 14 years in the East.
Yeah.
My maths is correct. Give or take a year, either side. But for the majority of his career.
But yeah, so he won 2 with Miami, which was one with Cleveland, one with
Yeah, I'm taking rings out of this. I'm talking about regular season. If he wants an easier regular season, then you go to the East, mate.
Back then, it was a lot easier in the regular season, definitely. Because you had us tanking, especially during his championship years in the East, we were tanking. Apart from the 2016 one, where we were kind of not tanking, but we were. But the league made us be semi-competitive.
He was competing in the East next year.
Wow, I don't know yet. I think the assumption will be the playoff teams now this year will probably repeat, as in the main one. So the Knicks, the Pacers, Sixers, Cavs. Although it depends on the Cavs because I don't know. But I think Sixers, Bucks, and Celtics would be the top 3 again.
But they're not. They're not contenders.
Well, I think, like I said, they're all in. Bucks were unlucky with injuries as well, so I wouldn't rule out the Bucks if they can make a few tweaks. It's all about the tweaks in the offseason. It's who can you get with that vet min? Like I said, who's going to get released that you can pick up quite easily. With that, you didn't expect to pick up. That's where you've got to look into it.
Yeah, true. It's going to be a long off season.
Indeed.
So Sam, with the 6th season being over quite a while back, how do you assess your season in the end?
Obviously poor because we didn't win. But when MB went down, I was like, okay, I'll just take the second round again, win a first round series. Because I hate nothing worse than going out in the first round. I'll at least get to the second round.
Did you enjoy the play-in?
No, I didn't enjoy the play-in.
It's not fun, is it?
No, As a neutral, it's not too bad, but I don't like it.
It's a game you could do without, especially when you're relying on health.
Yeah, I think I don't mind if the whole thing is one. They'll never do it because obviously you make money out of a 7 game series. But if I don't mind straight knockout, I just don't like it to then go into the group stage or like it's kind of like the Champions League group stages and stuff like that. But no,
Qualifying.
overall, Maxi had a really good year, which is a positive. But the negative is Melton looks like he's potentially done. He's been a good player for us. His back just seems like it's completely penciled. Sorry, you can pencil him in as a DMP for potentially most of next year as well if his back isn't sorted. Yeah. What about Lakers?
A mixed, a mixed, mixed emotions for our season. Happy with the positives are that AD had a monster year.
Yeah.
Um, Austin Reeves did pick up later on in the season, and probably worth his new contract. Darvin Ham was fired, so that's a positive from the end of it. Um, LeBron still had an All NBA type season when every year you think it's going to be the year that Father Time
Mm-hmm.
wins. I think D'Angelo Russell was a positive from the season, although that
Yeah.
is a up for contention between Laker fan base. But I think he had a record breaking franchise season, from the 3-point line. So I think he was very good, and hopefully he stays with us if we're going to build with this core. But what wasn't good enough was that we finished, eighth, and we had a healthy LeBron and AD for basically the full year. So that's just, I know it's a difficult Western Conference, but we should have been at least sixth. And I will argue that if we had a decent coach, we would have been in the top four.
You really do hate Darvin Ham, don't you?
I do hate Darvin Ham.
Wow.
I
I
don't
think
think I, I don't think Laker fans can be blamed for that. Like, the guy had no clue what he was doing.
I don't know if it was that bad, but I didn't watch a lot. I didn't watch a lot of Lakers games in the sense of from minute 1 to minute 40.
He was
So
a motivational speaker.
yeah, but at the end of the day, the players have got to play.
They have, and I get that, but there were some games that, with a better coach, that we could have coached 4 or 5 extra wins, and in that conference, that would have boosted us up quite high.
Yeah, but I think the thing is that you get timeouts that 30, 40 seconds. Sorry, maybe longer. Sometimes they're 30, 40 toward the end of the game. Draw up a play. You have an influence over a total of probably a minute or two worth of plays during the game. There's still 40 plus minutes that you got to do it. So you can't. This is why I say coaches play a part. Obviously, someone that's done their finished just on their coaching with football and that, but you obviously can say stuff during the game, but when it's 5v5, it's so hard because the transition's so quick in basketball. The coach can't intervene as much, and they're hard to prep because you're always traveling. So for me, I think when you have a season, when you look at a season, the results are like 65% player based, 35% coach. In my opinion, I think the coach makes it all different. A good coach, you're right. I think a good coach, the difference between a bad coach and a good coach is an extra 3 or 4 wins in the regular season and maybe an extra win or two in the playoffs. That could then mean you finish, 2 or 3 seeds higher, and you might go into the next round than maybe what you would have. But I think
Well, if we have a better regular season, we don't face Denver in the first round
fair,
and could have
fair,
possibly progressed.
fair point, fair
I'm not
point.
saying a different coach would have got us to win the whole thing, but yeah, there were certain games throughout the season that a half decent coach could have probably got us over the line.
Well, that's a hot take by you, I think. But
It's been my take all year,
It has.
hasn't it?
You stayed with it no matter what.
I think the only reason they didn't sack him last summer is that he had 3 years remaining on his contract.
So save a bit of money and do it a year later.
So a bit of money, yeah.
Fair
So
point.
paying because I think we were still paying Bogle at one point. So yeah, it's like how many more coaches do you pay for? Bear in mind, not all the blame goes to Davenham. Rob Pelinka is hiring the coaches here.
Is he
Rob
or
Pelinka.
LeBron? Just
Do
saying.
you think? Do you really think LeBron would buy
Yeah,
Darvinham, a rookie
probably.
head coach, the
Probably.
Bucks?
If he likes him.
What connection has he had with Darvinham?
I don't know. He might know him. I don't know.
There's no way that's a LeBron hiring. JJ Redick is LeBron hiring. And if from one rookie head coach to another rookie head coach, from a guy that hasn't been coaching, just doing podcasts, then that is definitely not a Pelinka or Genie Bus hiring. That is, I will admit, all in LeBron. They can gloss it all they want and lie about it, but best mate he does a podcast with, suddenly the head coach of the Lakers. Anyway, enough to talk about the crap teams. What do you think is going to happen in the finals?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I reckon Boston 4-2.
Ooh, my head, my head will say Boston in 7, but I do not want Boston to win. So my heart will say Dallas in 7. I would like it to go to 7 games. I think Boston need a bloody competitive series for once. And I think Adam Silver is losing revenue on the fact that the conference finals was ended so quickly.
Well, potentially. I think the new TV dildo is ridiculous. So much so we might be losing
Sorry,
inside the
yes, we'll
NBA.
end on this. We'll end on this. That's our predictions done. We don't need to say much more. I skipped one. I thought I'd leave this to the end because I know this would be close to your heart. Inside the NBA could potentially be cancelled.
It's gutting.
What's going on? They can't allow this to happen, surely.
I mean, I don't know. It would. I mean, you get one more year.
They do get one more
Um,
year.
I don't know. And he's not going to go though, so I'm sure they could still do a show, but without the. I'm sure there could be some. They could still do a basketball show, like, but without obviously the highlights and stuff because of the thing. But I don't know.
That's what it would be, is it the fact they won't have footage
And it would still be fun. But if
of
not,
games.
why? Surely they could. Turner could, because they only want to stay loyal. Maybe Amazon could be the one that they let them go to. That he could go to. It's not a rival network, is it? It's a streaming service.
Yeah, you can't see them all moving over to ESPN then.
No, 100% not. What a sad note to end on.
That could be a sad day.
It could. It
I
could.
know. I did think of you when I saw the news.
Well,
You've
we all
basically
love
grown up
it.
on that, haven't you?
I have. I mean,
Yeah, no.
yeah. I mean, trying to watch that legally for years has been tough. And they finally get it legally available to us, and then they're taking it away from us. The amount of legal streams I used to have to watch, the amount of legal downloads I'd have just to try and find it was so hard. And yeah, I mean, originally it was on the League Pass years ago, and then it got taken away, then it got put back on, and yeah, it's gutting.
It is going. So hopefully it's not their last season.
No.
Because yeah, that is the show. The show is part of the reason I attached myself to the NBA.
Yeah, it's the best, one of the best shows on TV.
I think during COVID, I ended up YouTubing all their like best bits and that. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better show.
It's a shame. So yeah, we're ending on that sad note and get ready for the finals. Are you watching live?
No,
No.
no, no. I'm watching
Not the same when
baseball
it's not your
live.
team, is it? Is it?
No, no. I will. I mean, if there's an early, I don't think any of the games are early, are they? So,
No.
um, let me check. Oh no, there is one game that I might watch. I think they've got no, no, no. I won't be. Friday, the 14th of June. I might watch that one.
Is it 2 nights between games?
No, yeah, well, kind of Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, but
Yeah, it's 1:30
yeah,
a.m.
I'm not gonna watch a game midweek Saturday morning. Now football season's over, I'll do that. But that's the only game I'm gonna watch live. What about you? No,
No, I'm not watching Celtics live. Not a chance.
no. Well, it depends actually because I have to check the Phillies schedule. But yeah, I'll be watching Phillies and instead. What times are Phillies playing on that day? Uh, they are playing. I will be. They are playing at 10 parts. So yeah, I'll be up anyway watching the Phillies. So I'll probably have it dual screened.
Well, you can be our finals correspondent.
Yeah, I mean I won't be watching a lot of it because obviously I'll be watching more of the baseball.
You're watching more of it than me.
Well, I don't know if I will if it goes 2 or 3 nil Celtics. I probably won't.
Yeah, that is true. Well, good to see you again, Sam.
And you, yeah, shame we
Maybe
didn't
not.
bump into each other
Maybe we won't
in
leave it so
Wembley.
long this time.
We won't. We won't. We
We've
didn't
only
bump
got a few
into.
more weeks of the season, so
Indeed, and then we have another break. Right, Glenn, where can people find us?
people can find us on X at with the English one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And the only reason we're called with the English one is Sam.
Because we are the only one called with the English.
How to put English on the basketball.